is crazy. And I think that might be enough to seal the deal here.
Yeah,
As
one
we
hand is
see,
still up, but
it is a lot of a battle here. It's going to be a fight as there is the wave. Is it going to be enough? Gragas is trying to buy space for his team. It is an exposed Nexus. Are they going for this end? I think it's possible, especially when you
yep,
get that
that's it.
nice CC into the W. I think there's not oh my god, there's not an
It's
instance
10,
here.
yeah,
This is
10
the
seconds.
kill.
It's I think this is game. Yeah.
It's absolutely going to be game here
Yep.
launches, as it looks like Angie is not going down without a fight. They are putting up the Dukes, and they are now on match point.
Oh yeah, that I think as soon as that level one happened, all 8 summers going out. I think that's what sealed the game. That was very insane. I mean, come on, Sivir. I'm surprised Sivir actually did the most damage in the game, right? But the Jhin, the LeBlanc was just too much to handle for TD Bless, and they just kind of they as soon as that level one happened, they just slowly lost the game.
Yeah. And I mean, realistically, all of the things that kind of could go wrong for the side of TD Bless went wrong that game, right? Your real win condition is making sure that that Sivir doesn't fall behind at the end of the day, right? She still did the most damage in the game at afterwards. Like she did 26k, even though Outrage did 26k as well. The fact that you're on the losing side, you're down 13k, and you're still able to put up that much of a fight. I think you just have to make sure that that game doesn't snowball. And it kind of did. And that is the first time we've kind of seen it, right? They actually, Angie doing a good job of doing what TD Bless should have done in game two. And I think this is kind of a point where if you are TD Bless, you got to lock in. You got to maybe do some toe stretches, eat a fruit. Just make sure that you are not in a bad mental space in this game to
Hmm.
be able to potentially try to claw back this series.
Yeah, again, it's gonna be interesting. Again,
Oh,
we
where'd my
will
camera
see.
go?
Ooh, we will
As we
see
see.
what happens. But again, this is match point already for Angie. Again, this could just be what happened last week, where they did lose the first game, but they were able to claw back and win the next three. So it's gonna be it's gonna be close, but it does look like TD Bless does pick.
We
I'm
will
going to
see.
assume that they picked blue side again. They picked blue side last game after their loss, just to keep it. But yes, it does look like they are just gonna keep on to blue. So so TD Bless is sticking to the blue side yet again, while Angie does stay with red. So I am going to assume again the bans are going to be the exact same, while the first pick, depending on if they ban Jinx or Udyr, is going to be the same again.
Yeah, as I think you mentioned it, but the fact that you're going blue 4 games in a row with how much Ultimice has kind of enjoyed just getting this counter pick, it needs to be studied a little bit. I think it's interesting. I think they still are prioritizing this Udyr. It might have lost twice, but maybe it's comfort for Drop Dead. I still think there is the opportunity you could be one Syndra just to give a little bit of time, but I think we are gonna take a 5 minute break as it looks like both teams are a little bit tired. I'm a little tired myself, so I don't blame them. As we're gonna wait a bit, and we'll be right back as soon as draft starts for you guys.
You know I don't play right. Just give me the word. Uh huh, uh huh. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. You know I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight. Just give me the word. Uh huh, uh huh. You know I don't play right. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. Don't give me this. Uh huh, uh huh. You know I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight. Just give me the word. Uh huh, uh huh. You know I don't play right. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. You know I don't play right. Just give me the word. Uh huh, uh huh. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. You know I don't play right. Just give me the word. Uh huh, uh huh. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. You know I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight. Just give me the word. Uh huh, uh huh. You know I don't play right. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. Don't give me this. Uh huh, uh huh. You know I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight. Just give me the word. Uh huh, uh huh. You know I don't play right. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. You know I don't play right. Just give me the word. Uh huh, uh huh. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like.
We have made it back from the 5 minute break that I needed, our players needed, probably launches needed too. And I'm very excited to get back into this. I'm feeling refreshed, recharged, ready to go all night. Right launches?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But we'll have to see. I think we're about to get started with the draft. I'm honestly pretty excited. I think there's still the chance that at least the bands don't change. But But yes, I will be adjusting my position here as I think that I've been liking how the drafts have kind of been playing out as the series has gone on, right? There has been Syndra prio, but Syndra lost. So maybe both teams are like, oh, it's not that strong anymore. I still think it's strong. I think that just the fact that that bot lane play didn't go the way they wanted, it just let Very Talented get the advantage on that LeBlanc to kind of like shut down the Syndra, the sphere throwing lady. So I think there is the angle that I honestly think it could be first picked. Maybe Riven wants to just get the counter pick. I think that could be another angle they go for.
Mhm.
As I think Riven has shown a lot of highlights, right? He's gotten a lot of solo kills in this matchup. I think if this team is like, well, man, let's ring it back just a little bit. I think that that could be an angle they want to play through.
Yeah, I think again, I still think Syndra is just really strong, right? But having that LeBlanc just be able to like poke you out from so far is not gonna be good. I think that bot lane again, that bot lane skirmish right at level one, just destroyed the chances of Bless, right? I think that really was a mental boom already, being so close yet just so far, and I think that just spiraled out of control in the end, right? So I don't think the bans will be any different, but I do think that the the Kog'Maw we might see come out again. I think the Jin did good, but I don't think it would have been the the most powerful pick, right? It's not really the scaling that you really want to see. So we will see what we will be, and we're just waiting on the teams to get ready for the draft right now.
5 minute
Everyone kind of
break
can.
ends up being 10-minute break with these guys. What can you do? But I do agree. I think I'm still really surprised that they are choosing to go for blue side. I think maybe they value Riven's counter pick here. But I think honestly, just letting Ultimice get the fact he's kind of playing these tanks, he's kind of playing for his team more, not going for these traditional counters that you'd maybe see in like solo queue. But it's gotten a lot of value. He's still able to get these CS leads, even in these like what I'd call kind of like even matchups. So I think it's good, and I think right now, I'm gonna double down. You have to play for counter pick if you're TD Bless, especially mid lane. I think
Yeah.
Udyr. I don't think it's the first pick, to be honest with you. Maybe it's just what they want to do. Maybe it's their go to. And I feel like at this point in the game, you're on a lifeline, right? You are on death's bed. You got to play all balls to the wall. You got to get it done, and maybe you just want to play pure comfort. And I know Den, he plays the Udyr a lot, but I want to potentially see something else as this first pick.
Yeah, again, the Udyr just hasn't really shown up, right? It has done some damage, but just not enough to really say, "Hey, look, this is a good pick. Trust me," and kind of carry on it. So looking at kind of drop dead's champ pool. Of course, you have an Udyr big, but I actually want to see the Viego come out, right?
Mhm.
He really is a one trick Viego. Viego really was banned before against him a lot, yet this series hasn't been. I think that Viego is doing pretty well right now. We can see, maybe the Kane comes out, right? We've seen that happen, and he has been playing. Well, surprisingly, Shen Jungle River Shen is making its return with Drop Dead. So it'll be interesting to see if that kind of comes up.
That's true. The person who I originally saw on that Jungle was none other than Mr. Doki himself. So we know how strong that pick can be. But I think it is an option. I honestly think Viego is a champ that you can get away with blinding. This point in the series as well. If it is your comfort, I saw he had like so many more games on it compared to any other jungle. I think maybe you're just a little worried to play around maybe drop dead as your carry. I think it also just works really well with what Riven is wanting to play. Maybe these skirmish heavy AP champions. So I think that could be an angle. Maybe they just go back to Udyr and I get a little disappointed, but who's to say? Maybe we'll have another 50-minute banger as both teams pick hyperscales. You never know.
See the Kai'Sa, the Kai'Sa Jinx, or like the Jinx card won't come out. Yeah, it'd be pretty good. But again, draft to start. A Mumu first ban, not Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa's up on the table. I assume they're gonna ban it right afterwards, but Kai'Sa is technically on the table as of right now. But there's the Poppy ban. Again, there's probably gonna be no changes in the drafts. I do still think that their TD Bless is probably gonna ban the Kai'Sa unless they're trying to first pick it, and Angy's still gonna ban the Garen, gonna ban either the Udyr. To be honest, I don't think that they're gonna ban Udyr. I think they're gonna ban the Jinx. I think Jinx was definitely way more powerful within that first game.
I think so too. I think at least on the side of Angie, those bans are gonna stay the same. But the fact that Kaisa hasn't gotten banned yet kind of makes me think maybe One Hand wants to play more of that like that aggressive engage AD carry because he's kind of got put on like these really passive AD carries these past ones, right? He had the Jinx game, but these past two ones he got put on Sivir and Ashe. Those are kind of like the most sleeper AD carries in the game. Right. I think maybe they want to put him on a playmaker, give him the opportunity to kind of throw hands because One Hand was throwing that hand around game one, and I want to see it again.
I will say Kai'Sa has not been banned yet, right? They did ban the Jarvan right afterwards, so this could be maybe a shift. Maybe they do ban the LeBlanc or the Syndra and want to actually first pick the Kai'Sa because I think that's what TD Bless is assuming they don't. Yeah, they're just gonna ban the Lilia, which means I do think that a first pick Kai'Sa is actually gonna come out here, being that the Jinx is off the table, right?
It
So
has to. It absolutely has to, unless they just don't think it's going to be as strong. I would be surprised if they give Outrage this, but no, I
no,
think that yeah, it's smart to
100%
just
take the
take it
Kai'Sa.
away.
Yep.
You have a lot of opportunities here. It has the opportunity to maybe, if I'm Angie, it depends on if they play it, but Ash Braum kind of shuts this pick down pretty hard on the B1. I think it's really annoying, but I think maybe Outrage is like I've already played Ash one game and I didn't win on it, so maybe that could be an angle they go for. But I would expect Ash Braum to probably be the response here.
Yeah. I've seen the Kai'Sa's gonna come out, and I do think again like the Ash Brahms can be really powerful, or maybe we'll see the Kog'Maw come out, right? or we could see. I don't really like the Jin, but again, the Jin came out last game, was pretty good. We also can see, of course, Syndra is still up, right? Yes, it lost last game, but it still did something, right? And it was only counterpicked from the LeBlanc. So I really do see these teams dropping mid lane until 4-5. But
Mhm.
there is the Udyr pick there for Sadness, picking up something different, trying to show up saying, well, you can't play it. Well, too bad I can, right? Trying to see if the comeback can trying to do like a little BM saying, well, too bad I'm better than you.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Udyr, or I guess not Udyr, Sadness was showing a lot of game time on the Udyr. Like, I think a lot of his recent games were on that champion specifically. So I think it is a good takeaway from Drop Dead. It does leave a jungle open to be counterpicked, though. It's going to be a reverse, as we see Kog'Maw actually come out in response. I think it's solid. I think it also is probably going to be paired with that Enchanter. If we see the Kai'Sanat lane, the Nautilus coming out, I think Milio could be an option as well as maybe Lulu, just to provide a little bit more appeal. We saw what that champion can do, especially if these games go late, and they want us to be here a while. Launches.
yeah, that's double hyperscalers, right? Now it's gonna be interesting. Are they gonna pick? What are they picking mid, right? I think they're gonna pick jungle here. I do think, and I'd love to see that kind of like that Viego come out, right? Or there's the Olaf from like just like game one, right?
Hmm.
That did really well, especially with the Ragnarok. Now the thing is, there's no Ashe on the other side, so you won't have that Ashe Seraphine cancel that was able to be with Ragnarok. But it's still, again, Olaf's still pretty good this patch, and I do think that TD Bless will be picking a support here, right? I think that's still better, a better pick, and maybe even stealing the Enchanter, stealing that Lulu, stealing that Milio, right, away from the Kog'Maw would be pretty good. But this just might be a Nautilus pick, just like the first or the last two games. Actually, it's gonna be Ornn.
Just
I
kidding. Hey,
was
yeah.
I was incorrect last time, where I did say I thought that Ultimice played Ornn twice, but I was incorrect. Barbaric played Ornn game one, and Ultimice played game two.
Yeah. So I do think it is pretty solid, especially if you are probably going to go with that tank anyways for Barbaric. You might as well just pick it here. You give a little bit more leeway for physiology, give a little bit more leeway for Riven to kind of get that perfect counter pick that they want because a lot of these guys have a really solid pool, and we end up seeing the Cog paired with the Lulu here. It's a solid pick. We've seen Nintendo play the Millia with the Cog, but I think this is an even better pairing. But there is an Olaf on the other side, and he kind of does a good job of shutting down Lulu.
Yeah, again, having that polymorph is gonna be really beneficial. Kaisa ult, polymorph. What's Kaisa gonna be able to do? Really nothing. Olaf, polymorph right before Ragnarok, right? It's not much you can do. And actually, this is gonna be a Syndra ban already, actually kind of changing it up for Anki. I would love to see TD Bless pick out a LeBlanc, right? We've seen Riven pick it previously, or at least in his solo queue, has been picking a LeBlanc quite a bit actually, and also some Ari, right? But because we know Riven for the melee, for the Yone, for the Riven, for that the Garen. That's what Riven's good. But putting him on a enchanter, or sorry, a mage mid, it's gonna be interesting to see.
Mhm. I would say the Sendra ban just shows that probably very talented doesn't want to blind it. I think in a lot of instances she doesn't want to give that counter pick over to Riven, which is fine. I think there's a lot of strength with the champion. It would be picked if it is not banned in this instance, as we see Nautilus in response
Hmm.
as well for Angie, but a Camille ban coming out, kind of a good thing that can potentially shut down the Ornn. I think it also has a semi decent time into Olaf, kind of depending on where the game is at, but it's all right, and I think right now for Angie, I'm expecting probably to see just a skirmisher mid, just trying to buy a champ that's going to buy a little bit more space for this cog. I think an Ari is very likely for
Hmm.
very talented. She had a pretty good performance on it game one, even though they didn't end up taking it. I think she was a pretty big win condition for that squad. So I think that could be the option as we're seeing the same two bands topside as Camille and Kennen are off the table for Ultimice.
And I'd love to see, is this going to be an Ari pick or a LeBlanc pick? But it looks like it's just going to be a Shen top lane, right? Previously, uh, Ultimize has been playing a little bit of Shen, a little bit of Shen, a little bit of Cassante, right, within the last games. But this time, it's just going to be Shen top,
Hmm.
being able to kind of TP onto that Kog'Maw. This really is a save or protect the president, right? Lulu ult plus shield, Shen ultimate, Udyr just frontlining. So this is going to be really interesting to see. Just are they going to be able to protect Kog'Maw that much, or are they going to do it? But there is the Ari.
Yep, we see that Ari actually being taken away from the side for Riven here. I think he is very strong on the pick, but it does leave open the opportunity here for the counter for very talented. She has a very big pool, and I think with the fact that Ornn picked on that B3, that Shen B4 or that Shen R4 is a lot stronger. You get that counter, but I think there's a ton of shields here. I want to see someone who's pretty good at potentially breaking the shields, being a shield buster at the end of the day, right? Maybe a chance they can get away with going Serpent's Fang. I know it isn't as strong as much on the patch, but we're gonna see what that response is, what this support counterpick is. I honestly think Rel, maybe Rel comes out. No, it's Braum. Now that I thought about it, yeah, Rel was I think the move there.
Just the passive, right? Being able to just slow down as much as can, the stuns and everything. And this really is a hey, we're just gonna run in and try to melt the Kog'Maw, right? That is the main damage. Assuming that we see again, we have an AP jungler. I'd love to see more maybe an AD mid, but I do think it's just gonna be the LeBlanc, right? That's the only person. That's the only person that's left to be picked mid lane. There's not really many good mid lane picks right now, so yeah, I think that's. I mean, looking at the drafts, they look pretty even. I mean, it looks just like the previous game, right? Kog'Maw, it was Kog'Maw Syndra, right? But it's not just Kog'Maw LeBlanc, um, as the main damage dealers, right? And you're protecting the president here, which is Kog'Maw in this case.
Yeah, I think LeBlanc adds a little bit of firepower, a little bit of pizzazz to the ANGY roster. As or Very Talented did a good job of piloting it last time, kind of punishing that counter pick. I think the Ari LeBlanc matchup, it is still LeBlanc favored, but I think it is still very playable for the Ari, right? I honestly think it enables your team to kind of play more of a skirmish heavy style. They could potentially try to punish the LeBlanc who's trying to go in, trying to get these picks, especially on Kaisa, but I really want to talk about, I guess, like doubling down on the fact that I'm really surprised Braum was the answer as that counter pick there. I
Mhm.
think realistically, I would have liked a Rel, just a champion that gives you a little bit more engage, a little bit more follow up here because you are playing dive, dive, dive. And you know what Braum doesn't do that well? Dive.
Right.
So I'm just like, Rel also just provides that shield break with her Q, with that Shen and that Lulu trying to stack on Cog. It gives you the opportunity to try to burst him down a little bit more. Personally, I'm not huge on this Braum, and I think maybe it provides a little bit of shielding to your front line, but your front line's going in ahead of you, man. They're trying to engage. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
not a fan.
Well, it's it's gonna be an interesting game, right? Is my biggest thing is how is this Udyr Olaf matchup gonna go, right? Is Sadness gonna be like, hey, yeah, you failed twice on Olaf, it's one of your best champs, I'm gonna come in and destroy you on it, or is it gonna be a you know, hi, like I it turns out I actually suck on Udyr, right? And Olaf's just gonna roll it just like in game one. So it's again, I think it's gonna be a pretty close matchup on this one. But again, like we saw last game, the drafts were pretty close, yet Angie just rolled, right? That level one skirmish did not go the way of TD Bless, and everything just crumbled from there.
Yeah, I think it realistically could be a toss up. I think it's going to depend kind of on if Drop Dead or Riven get ahead. If they can play around potentially this 2v2, look for an angle, maybe catch out very talented on the back foot. It's possible-ish, but I don't know. I am favoring Angi's draft. I think maybe they could get overconfident here. They get caught early. This Kog'Maw isn't able to get accelerated to that late game state, and then TD Bless has the angle, but it really realistically is in the driver's seat for TD Bless because once again, for I think the fourth time, they're on a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, this is someone in chat say, "Hey, it's actually Braum lives matter," because it's Braum picked out here. Uh, maybe the Braum was gonna able to get revenge on Angie, right? Being that, yeah, Braum lives matter took the first game off of Angie, but then lost the next three. So we're gonna see is that gonna be the case here? Just like it's gonna be a sweep after losing the first game, or are they gonna be able to kind of reel it back in and actually bring us to a game five, right? It is possible to have silver scrapes, but with how that last game went, it's not looking likely.
hmm I think there are a lot of opportunities here. There are a lot of options. I think this game, it's going to be a banger. I think both teams are going to get a little messy. They're going to get down and dirty. But we're going to have to see realistically when it starts, what that is going to look like. I think we're going to cut the spectator delay, give us a little bit of time to recoup and get ready for this game forward, which is hopefully going to be a banger.
See you guys then.
what I want, girl, I'm tryna make you mine. Hey, yo, excuse me, please don't confuse me. Liquid in my cup, I keep it juicy, juicy. I used to be like that way back then. I was way back then. I had rings back then. I'm on the hip in case the ops pull up. My homie Tommy always had the hook up. You dig me? What you want? Don't ever call me a sidekick. Know what I want, girl, I'm tryna make you mine. Hey, yo, excuse me, please don't confuse me. Liquid in my cup, I keep it juicy, juicy. I used to be like that way back then. I was way back then. I had rings back then. I'm on the hip in case the ops pull up. My homie Tommy always had the hook up.
Oh, don't think he ever really knew me. I run quite a distance, so in some ways I'm truly different. In some ways I kept my soul. Don't think he ever really knew me. I run quite a distance, so in some ways I'm truly different. In some ways I kept my soul. Never really knew me. Never really knew me. No, don't think he ever really knew me. I have run quite a distance, so in some ways I'm truly different. In some way I kept my soul. I ain't got time if you want me to freeze up. I'm new now, I found the flow. I'ma need you to keep up, not slowing down anymore.
What you want, don't ever call me a sidekick. You know what I want, girl, I'm tryna make you my chick. Hey, yo, excuse me, please don't confuse me. Liquid in my cup, I keep it juicy, juicy.
I used to be like that way back then. I was way back then. I had rings back then. I'm on the hip in case the ops pull up. My homie Tommy always had the hook up. You dig me?
What you want, don't ever call me a sidekick. Know what I want, girl, I'm tryna make you my chick. Hey, yo, excuse me, please don't confuse me. Liquid in my cup, I keep it juicy, juicy.
I used to be like that way back then. I was way back then. I had rings back then. I'm on the hip in case the ops pull up. My homie Tommy always had the hook up. You dig me?
I've been looking, finding all what is inside. I'm taking in all the lights. Oh, I'm not used to this. I'm not looking back, I'm not clear. And if you love me, you let me fly.
We are here for what will be either the end of this series, as Angie could potentially take it, or this could be the resurgence, the bounce back here for TD Bliss, as they're trying to bounce back here in Game 4. The series right now is 2-1 in the favor of Angie. But with these comps, with the way these players are setting themselves up, I think they have some fight in them.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, right? Of course, again, we just see uh, a simple 5 point, nothing too much. We do see Udi are actually going to be, so it looks, I'm going to assume both junglers are just going to start their top jungles and just work their way down, trying to support this, trying to get a lane 4 gang, or a level 4 gang, sorry, onto the spot lane, right? But it's going to be interesting to see who's gonna get there first, right? We can see a little Orin doing a little dancing here. Shen's trying to go right back at him, but
Hmm. I think realistically, the way this Udyr is pathing is the best way to do it, right? This Cog Lulu, I think at least early is going to be pushed in, just with the fact you have Braum just applying this, applying the stun really fast. But with the way that the bot lane of ANGY is positioning, I think they could try to look for this level 1. I don't think they're spotted here, as they're going to get into this brush. You're trying to get an early aggressive trade, but if you are the side of TD Blast, you got to be cautious here. This is where I'm leaning, as I'm expecting some shenanigans. They're kind of just waiting it out, playing it slow.
oh,
But we're seeing
yeah,
here as they're
they don't
trying to
know.
get
Oh,
involved. Outrage
outrage is
actually
not
exposing
seen.
himself a little bit early here. And so it just ends up being a traditional level 1.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Okay, so I think top lane's gonna be pretty even, right? It's pretty much two tanks battling it out against each other, right? Shen can do damage, and Ornn can do damage. Just depends on what abilities they hit, how they hit them. Mid lane again, I think mid lane again is little Ari favored, right? Being able to poke from a distance
But
and
we're actually
everything.
seeing
But
up top, Ultimize hit level 2 first. He's using the fact he has that level advantage. But we're
Well.
seeing action all over the place. Both these laners hit 2, but we're seeing the exhaust come out onto one hand to slow it down. Outrage forced to kite back here as the exhaust also comes back out from Lulu, but the ignite in return. But actually, lethal
Ooh.
is procced. You got to be careful if you're one hand. He could go for something a little crazy. But it looks like both AD carries are just going to be a little bit low at this point.
I think that was great vision in the bush, right? So the outrage could actually hit him more,
Was the
get
taunt
more
does
damage
go
out of it.
wide. They're top, but Ultimize's doing a good job of getting this early push, trying to shove
Missed
this
cannon.
lane. Yeah, there's a lot going on. These people are fighting.
Ooh, charm onto the talented, but it's gonna hit a little bit, get some good damage, but this is this is definitely the most maybe the slowest start of the game we've had, right? I think game 2 was a little slow, but it was still
Ooh.
a little more skirmishy than this, just because there was a Nautilus on the a Nautilus, right? So yeah, with this Braum here, it's just I think it's just gonna start off as a pretty slow game, and then we'll ramp up eventually.
I agree. I mean, I think looking at these lane states, it's really hard, honestly, for any jungler to kind of find a gank angle, right? Because look at just the amount of mobility that is on like both sides here. You're looking also at the fact it's an Olaf and an Udyr. These are kind of realistically power farming champions. They're kind of okay to just play it out slow, be okay to kind of get later into this game. Because realistically, the only real ganking lane I see is maybe the Kai'Sa Braum for this Olaf, but I don't know. I just don't see a lot of action happening. But top lane, they've been making it spicy. They're trying to keep me entertained here. As we see, looks like the lanes are just gonna bounce back and forth. It's traditional stuff. We always see it here. As Ultimice is gonna try to thin it out, but I think Barbaric is just gonna be able to crash this wave in and get himself a reset as well.
Yeah, we'll say that actually is both Scuttle Crabs over to TD Blessed, right? This Olaf was able to just walk in, smite the Scuttle Crab when Udyr was on it, and just able to do much. Actually, this is still level 5 over to Ornn first, but
And
ooh.
that is a lot of minions applying damage there. He did have the W to block a lot of the damage, but it's actually forcing out the base a little bit early here. This might be an angle for Ultimice to potentially freeze on this Olaf, or this Ornn. It's going to force the TP regardless, so it's not the end of the world, but actually really good use of fundamentals there from Ultimice to make sure he doesn't have TP. He's going to crash a massive wave to make sure he has enough time to get back. That's -1, but that's okay. It's like, it's totally chill from this point in the game to just be, hey, I have Ignite, I'm going to play with that Ignite.
Yeah, again, Braum has Ignite back, but Lulu doesn't actually have an exhaust up yet, so there could be something this bot lane if this Braum wanted to just jump in, Ignite, right? Force out the flash, force out the barrier for Kog'Maw. But I
As we
think
see,
that
the
just
Q does land onto Nintendo, but I don't think it's going to be enough as one hand is not in the area to follow up. This game, like we talk about, has been pretty slow, but they say, no, we're going in. PG lands a W, lands a chain, and that's a really good train over there for very talented. But looking up top again, they're just crashing waves into each other. It's the top lane classic, man.
top lane island, right? There's not much they can really do right now. Now, again, both junglers are rotating down again. They see the drag is up right now. They do know that grubs are going to be up soon.
Oh, actually, Nintendo getting a very
whoa!
aggressive trade here. I'm very surprised Nintendo actually didn't choose to flash there. I think they didn't want to go flash for flash. I think that could have been a potential kill there. Speaking of potential kill, we see both mid laners did ding level 6, but very talented is sitting on a lot more mana, right? She's just used the fact that her Q does give a mana reset on kill. It feels a little bit better here. And right now, this is advantage over to the side of ANGY in this mid lane.
Yeah, I think this is okay. So TP backed by Ari, right? Which means you are gonna have a TP advantage. Plus LeBlanc will probably just back and back, but actually LeBlanc is just gonna go for this dragon, help out the Udyr. So I am surprised. Actually, sorry. Uh, wait, where is? Oh, I'm just blind. Yeah, never mind. The mini map was covering.
He
Actually,
was basing on the tower,
whoa.
but you know what we're talking about? Ornn potentially is going to fall. We were missing it. We were looking at the dragon, but that is a first blood. He did not respect the ignite tiff, and Ultimise picks up a first blood for himself, and what most people would consider not a very bloody lane.
Yeah, yeah. I was focused on the on where the Olaf was. I'm like, huh, I can't see him. He was backing behind Brahms icon, so I wasn't able to see that. I was like, would have expected them to instantly run up top lane actually for the grubs, right? You already know that they're gonna take this dragon here, but it looks like they're like, no, we're just gonna wait there, trying to save bot. But actually, Kai'Sa's on a really bad lane here.
Yeah,
Kai'Sa
it
might die here. That's a
well,
flash.
this guy is in a bad spot with that flash coming out from Udyr, making sure the bear slap is going to land, and especially with the flash coming in from Outrage, even the barrier is not going to keep you alive, as that is a kill over to the Cogmaw. Hey, and that's where I want my kills to be. This is not the start you want for TD Blessed.
Yeah, like quick shot says, flash, bear, slap. But again, this is going to be 3 grubs most likely going over to the side of Blessed, right? So at least you get something out from that dragon, but that's 2 kills, right? It's not it's not going to be a much advantage right now. You have a plate over to this Ari, but it's not going to feel the best.
I mean, a plate over to the Ari is nice. She has the opportunity, but she's getting the opportunity to absolutely take a ton of damage here. Very talented, doing a good job of holding the chain, making
Oh.
sure that Riven having to use the Spirit Rush pretty aggressively there. And by aggressively, I mean not at all. Forced to base here, and very talented. You are doing a great job of holding down this mid lane.
Yeah, again, I think that's really good. Like, the charms have been coming out as soon as Very Talented dashes in. Those charms hit him right off the bat. But the only thing is, as soon as you have the chains of corruption, or the chains and
As we
the
see,
Q come
the
down, oh,
does land up top lane. I think they are trying to trade aggressively here, but without that ignite, your kill threat does become a little bit scarier, as Ultimize is only up the boots and the cloth armor. So I think that realistically these fights could go either way, but you still got to be cautious, as now we're seeing kind of the start of this game. It's starting to spice up a little bit, as it's only a 1k gold lead, but the gold is kind of in the right spot, right? I think Shen, he can still hold this value well, right? He's going to be able to bring this gold with him in these ultimate plays, right? The Stand United, I believe, yes, and it's going to be able to provide a lot of value here. You're going to absolutely be able to protect this cog, make sure that he is
oh.
your Mr. President. But now, cutting up top, I talk about it. Ultimice is doing a great job trying to trade aggressively here. It looked like he had Hail of Blades the way he was attacking so fast, but just trying to trade aggressively here, and Ultimice is absolutely doing a fantastic job. These solo laners, I keep saying it, they're doing great. But now we see, I keep talking
this
about
might
it.
be another
You gotta be
death.
so aggressive here as the taunt
Oh,
lands.
Riven's behind though.
Outside, we see that Riven is trying to get into the position, but the Stand United is coming out. It is now an unfair fight for the side of ANGY. They have the man advantage. Actually, I believe the was stopped. Ornn is able to stop it from coming in, and we see the charm land
comes
on
out, though.
the Hugify comes out, but they're able to pick up the kill as one hand is able to take down Udyr. I don't know what happened on the other side, as we see that Shin wasn't able to get into this. Never mind, he is here. What am I talking about? But still, this is a great turnaround. That shield popped, and now Drop Dead is trying to stop these bases, make sure that no one gets out, but he didn't find the target that he wanted. Oh no, Ultimice, you needed to stop your back there. This could be a dead. They're actually not going for this dive. I'm very
I'm
surprised.
surprised
I think that is
Lu-
a dead Lulu if Olaf just stayed in position there.
Yeah, well, actually, see, Lulu is still there. Actually, he's trying to clear the wave here. I would have thought just stayed around. You know that Kog'Maw isn't back yet. He's supposed to stay in base, get his items. So I mean, it would have been beneficial to dive that Lulu, get another kill. But I guess they're not being too greedy though. So I will give them props for that actually.
But
Oh,
speaking of
charm.
greedy, she's going in with that W there, trying to land the distortion, forcing out another aggressive Spirit Rush. Actually, Riven is trying to make it an aggressive Spirit Rush here. Trying to get it, using that third
Oh,
Spirit
is he
Rush
gonna
here.
be
I
able to
think
get-
there is potentially the
level
angle,
up,
but that
though.
level up makes it so that she's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good play by Riven there. Again, the Ari ult isn't on that long of a cooldown, right? It's still longer than something like the Ashe ult or it's not the Ashe ult, but like the Lux ult or the Leon ult, but it's still on a short enough timer where you can use it defensively or offensively in any case, and not feel too bad about the next fight not having it.
Absolutely. And I mean, right now, the build from this Ari is a little interesting. She doesn't have that lost chapter yet. I'm expecting with that blasting wand already, she is going to still go with that malignance. So when that happens, she has her ultimate basically up on a 1 minute cooldown always. Just giving her a ton of mobility, finding these angles to make these plays is what she wants to do. I think honestly, one aspect of this matchup specifically, Ari versus LeBlanc, right, is if LeBlanc is not able to get that initial cast off, Ari has a good job of kind of keeping the fight extended and swinging it back into her favor, right? She has those 3 charges of the Spirit Rush, and we saw it there. If Very Talented didn't hit that level up, that could have potentially been a completely different story.
Yeah, actually, I'm very interested. It looks like Drop Dead is just gonna go for those grubs, right? Go get the 3. Well, it's probably just gonna be a trade, right? They think that, hey, look, Ornn can kind of split push, Ari can split push with the TP, right? While again, only LeBlanc can really split push for the side of uh, for ANGY, just because I mean, yeah, Shen has his his ultimate, but he doesn't have a TP as well. So I mean, think that it's gonna be a hindrance later in the game. But it looks
Mm-hmm.
like, again, this is just gonna be a trade for 6 grubs over for 2 dragons. I don't think it's that bad of a trade. I wouldn't be mad if I was either team here. So
Yeah. As we see right now, there hasn't been as much action as we're usually used to. But I mean, that's just the nature of these comps, right? They're just using the fact they kind of have this aggressive position here. But Riven trying to mess with Sadness, make sure that he doesn't take these Raptors for free. But Sadness might actually be in a bad position here. He does have Flash, and that's just going to be an immediate Flash out. But it does force out the Spirit Rush, so it's not the end of the world here. As they do have a little bit of a timer, maybe to punish this Ari.
I will say this is actually the slowest game we've had, right? We're pretty even on, we're not even 1K gold difference here at almost the 13-minute mark, right? Usually we are at least 4 by this point, if not, like last game, up to like 4 or 5, right? So this game at least is going to be, definitely, I would assume, going the mile. Again, you have kind of 2 scaling comp with the Kaisa, with the Kog'Maw, right? But who knows? These teams are unpredictable at times.
Yeah. I will say though, if I'm on the side of TD Blessed, I keep saying it, I'm gonna say it again. They're on a timer, right? There is a cog in this game. The team with cog, as someone in chat said, he kind of just wins when he gets to this late game stage. You have the options, you have the tools, you have the Ari and the Kaisa to try to make these aggressive plays happen, because you need to try to balloon this gold lead up. The fact that you're down when playing into a cog bot, this is not gonna work for you. You're not gonna win like this.
Yeah, so it looks like Kaisa has moved mid lane. Ooh, misses the
Okay.
change though, so it's not going to be as scary for the Kaisa here. It is going to do a good damage, not a damage though. Ari does does TP bot lane, trying to save this bot turret from the Kog'Maw, so it doesn't get the first turret gold, right? And we are having actually Rift Herald come up in 7 seconds. We do see the Udyr in the area, right? And I do think that TD Bless see it as well, but there is I think they can take Rift Herald if they want to go for it. They definitely can. You have Kog'Maw going bot lane. You have Kaisa in the area. You have TP coming
Absolutely,
in,
yeah.
but
Absolutely, you should be going for this Rift Herald, right? The fact that Riven already used that TP to defend that bot lane tower, he had to move up aggressively, walk the long way to make sure that this Rift Herald gets secured. Because if you're not taking these objectives, you're gonna fall so far behind. This gives them an opportunity to maybe shut down a tower, maybe go for the traditional what we've seen this entire time, place Rift Herald when Drake has spawned to make sure it is secured. But I think you got to be looking for more aggressive plays here. I want to see these people moving around the map trying to punish some of these guys, because there needs to be more action. I need to see more movement in these games. But maybe we find some action now, as Sadness is forced to run away. Maybe the 3 members of TD
Alright.
Bless are
Ooh,
positioning
great
aggressively. Looking at
dodge.
Kog'Maw, Riven is trying to buy space for her team, give her team the angle they need to get back in. I think there's not going to be enough space. This Outrage might be able to speed out. You see the flash comes out. They're trying to buy enough space. It's not going to be
Very
enough.
Talented
Very
here,
Talented
though.
goes in with the W, but the Shin, the Stand United, it might be kind of for naught, as the Shin is here. Actually, he got canceled up top, as Sadness is able to pick up the kill, but the Shin is still allowed. The Ragnarok used defensively, that's not how you want to use it. And actually, looking up top, the Ignite almost actually kills Barbaric. He gets punished for punishing that Shin ultimate, but still, that is a great swing. And the shield, at the end of the day, that got it done.
Again, this is, I mean, it's kind of comparatively a slow game from the previous. Yeah, we had that fight, but only physiology goes down, right? I mean, but it's luckily only the Braum. Now the kill is on the looks. I'm gonna assume the Kog'Maw, which is not good at all. But Kog'Maw is 1-0-1, so that's not gonna be a fun place for the Ari, who looks like to be kind of like stopping him, or the Kaisa. But I mean, I think TD Bless are happy that they haven't let this game go too far, like out under the rug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I guess so. I think just like realistically, your maybe only gold lead at this point is kind of the Ari. She has the assist and like 7 gold up, but just I don't know. I'm not liking. It's so hard to punish this team. It's so hard to find the angles here, and it's just gonna like that gold lead is gonna stop mattering at some point, right? When they get to that point in the build where they have 3 items, when they have their defensives, it's gonna be tough. But there's some aggressive trading here mid, as it just looks like they're okay to just farm it up. They're like, hey, we'll be hanging out, we'll be chilling. As it just looks like the members are trying to position. Looks like they're going to be doing it again. They're going to be placing that Rift Herald mid lane, trying to buy enough space to go for the dragon on the bot side of the map here. But we actually see up top some aggressive trading as the Stand United is still down, so this could potentially be a 5v4 as Ornn does have his TP up. But we see the Q does land onto Outrage as OW follows it up. It's not that much poke, but it's some. As we see right now, the members of ANGY are in a bit of a better spot here, forcing out some damage here, but very talented, doing a good job of trying to buy space, trying to buy time, forcing out that Ornn TP. And it does actually look like this dragon is going to go over to the side of TD Bless. It looks like they're going to concede, take the fact that, hey, Ornn's not here. I'm going to try to get this tower. But right now, I think that's an okay trade. It's okay to take that TP.
Yeah, but the thing is, now look how low each of the turrets are, right? For the on the side of Engi, but I think that might be first turret over to the Shen, assuming that they can posture it just right. But uh, they should definitely just push a wave, get first blood turret, right? That's a lot of gold. That's 500 gold over, and I don't think you can really miss that opportunity. Yeah, you got drag, but that's 500 gold. I can go to whoever you need it to go to.
And I mean, at this point, it's like the little cut is starting to. It's not being treated right. That little cut is starting to become a bigger cut, right? And I think at this point, it's gonna start. You're gonna start bleeding out. I think that bleeding out has already even begun. It's not even 20 minutes in the game, and it just feels like I'm not seeing a lot of life in the side of TD Bliss. I need to see more action. Even though they got that dragon, they're looking for something. You gotta find a lot more at this point. You need to absolutely be shutting down this outrage, right? He has no deaths on the board. This is not what you want to see. As Sadness is trying to make sure he gets a potential kill on the board, as he's slowed down by Mr. Physiology, making sure that, hey, you're not pre-hurting my freezes. But actually cutting down bot. Notice it. I think the ultimate came out to protect Very Talented there, forcing the Ignite as Riven is on 1 HP, not going to be able to get out this time, as she's able to get out, and it looks like that tower is going to be able to drop as well. But over in the mid lane, they are choosing to engage in. The drop dead is going in with the ghost. He's polymorphed. He's Ragnaroking out, but he's exhausted. It's not going to matter. That Ragnarok is enough, and actually Kog'Maw drops there. One Hand is actually doing a great job, and the follow-up there, great kill, and that's a double kill. That's the life I needed to see in TD Bless. Great turnaround, using the fact that that ultimate is not up now, but cutting up top lane. Sadness actually just double kills this Ornn. Not double kills, he just 1v1s him and solo kills him. You know, there was a lot of action all at once, and I said there was no action in this game. I don't know what happened, man.
I think that fight definitely went to the side of Bless. Yeah, they died top lane, right? And they Ornn died, but I mean that Ornn was able to get that first blood turret top lane, kind of stopping the Blanc bot lane to kind of get anything out of that. So I actually think that was definitely worth it for the side of TD Blast.
That's worth it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, an Ornn who doesn't have that much gold is still an Ornn at the end of the day, right? He's gonna be tanky. If you get to this late game point, he's gonna be a threat. But the fact you were able to shut down this call, give your Kaisa a double kill, that gives you a little bit of an opportunity here. It gives you something to play around. It's what you need to do, and I think right now they need to continue looking for these plays. Go for these ghosts. Just make something happen. Look for these numbers advantages around the map, especially when that Stand United is down, because Ultimice doesn't have TP. So realistically, he's only going to be at this fight every time that Stand United is up.
I mean, it kind of hurts me looking at that mid turret on the side of Angie. Again, it's like one tap, but it's just not enough to actually you can't walk up to it, right? It's on 118 health. It is a good 2 auto attacks away, but just because Kog'Maw and Lulu are there, just saving it, just making sure that they just can't walk up to it and take it, that there's just not much they can do. Actually, bot lane
Yeah, they're looking at some aggressive trading, but at this point they're pretty tanky, so it's going to be hard to kill each other, at least in these extended fights. You most likely are going to be just buying time for the rest of your team, but actually, we're seeing maybe there's an angle here as they're trying to defend this control ward. I think you should look for an angle on Outrage. It's a field goal. The Q is not going to hit there. Trying to buy enough space. Trying to buy space with that shield, but he's actually taking a lot of damage here, forcing out the ultimate. The flash comes out from Sadness. Riven goes in with the Spirit Rush, able to absolutely blast
the
Nintendo.
charm, though.
But right now, Outrage is on island, but Ultimize coming in with the clutch stand united, and you're not going to be able to break through that. And that is a massive turnaround. Great response there from ANGY, making sure, hey, our president is not going down.
Ornn missed.
The Ornn does miss, but the chain does hit. As we see, they're going to try to make this response. They have 2 minions up. I actually don't think that tower is going to fall. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be 2 kills for nothing.
Yeah, because Drag is up in 110, and I think that this fight, it's slowly going the way of ANGY, right? They're able, like, hey, we have Kog'Maw, we have Lulu. As you saw, even with the shield up, that was so much damage on this, like, physiology. Making it so that they just couldn't jump in. Yeah, Riven went in. It was great, but the problem is the missed charm onto the Lulu allowed Lulu to ult herself and just to get the little extra health where Very Talented could just walk in, burst anyone down, burst down the Ari, and just kind of turn the fight around.
As we see now, it looks like both AD carries have gotten to that 2-item power spike. But I will say, while it is strong, I do feel like, I keep saying it, the Cog is so strong at this point, right? He has the Lulu to give him that move speed, give him that shield, give him that attack speed too. And I think with this Dragon coming up and the fact that ANGY has a pretty good vision line set up for themselves, I think that they're going to potentially be trying to get on Soul Point here. As actually Very Talented finds the here potentially onto Physiology. Forced to W away here. The shield is up, but I think Sadness is going to be able to apply a lot of damage, and it's going to be enough as Very Talented picks up that kill, and that basically makes this Dragon locked.
Yeah, get us like plays like that where just TD Blast are just positioned just out, just a little out, and ANGY's like, hey, we could capitalize on this. Yes, look at that. They are hitting tier 2 turret, but Very Talented is just gonna come in. I wonder if Riven's actually gonna die from this.
Does find the angle here, forcing out the Spirit Rush, but the charm does come out. We might see a potential 1v1 here, but the second chain does land, forcing out that second one. That's actually a lot of damage over on the other side against Very Talented, but it's an ulti for ulti, and at the end of the day, their ultis are pretty chill. But now we see just the taunts are landing, just tank freeze tank. Nothing really is going to happen there.
We do have Heartsteel on the Shen. The Ornn has not been able to build just yet, but it looks like they're gonna go Jack Shows. A little interesting why building Jack Shows right after Hollow Radiance, but I guess that's just what they want to go for. What Ornn's saying. I don't need the 8.5k health like that one game with Ultimice on it. Like I'm just gonna become a straight tank, not necessarily health based, but armor based, and well. Good, not bad damage under the Lulu with Kai'Sa Q, right? We have the upgraded Kai'Sa Q. Kai'Sa actually has the upgraded E as well. Still waiting to get the W upgraded after grabbing Nashor's Tooth. Most likely next, but it'd be interesting to see. Do they want to go Nashor's Tooth, or do they have another AP item in mind?
I think either or is pretty possible here. I will say, at this point in the game, it's gonna be tough. I think. With Ornn, he does favor the resistances because of his passive. He gets, I believe, 10% more just from every item that he builds. Also, you do have that late game reassurance with these ornaments. That could be another option here, maybe giving this Kai'Sa a little bit of extra scaling. But it's still tough. It's still like, I know we saw a lot of action early, but a little slow. And the fact that they're already stacking these objectives, I need to see something.
Yeah, I mean that's Soul Point already, right? And in 3 minutes, it's most likely going to fight. Baron's up. To be honest, I could see ANGY go for this Baron, right? In 3 minutes, trying to trade the one Drag Soul, because it's not going to be. It doesn't put TD Blessed on Soul Point, right? So it's just beneficial to TD Blessed, like, hey, we have to stop this dragon, right? So you don't go into Soul Point, and he's like, sure, we'll just take Baron in as a trade.
I mean, also the fact that it is Cloud Drake, I do think Cloud Soul is the strongest still in the game. It just provides so much move speed, just provides so much for your team. And it's just like the fact you're also playing with Cog, who he really likes being able to move around, make sure he has enough space to just Hawk 2 on him, just spin on him. But that doesn't matter at the end of the day, as we're going to see if he's going to be able to keep doing his damage, just firing the DPS, provide that artillery. And I I don't know. I think there might just go for this 50-50 play on the dragon because I think that is your best bet because I think the fights are just gonna keep getting harder and harder.
Yeah, I will say, looking at the gold difference, right, between like the Olaf and the Ornn, or sorry, the Olaf and the Udyr, right? That's 2 level difference. That's an item and or at least half an item difference there. I mean, that's almost 50. That is, sorry,
Yes,
50.
it
Oh my
is. But
gosh, the
outrage
damage.
is just absolutely outrageous here. He's doing a lot of damage. Even through that Braum shield, it's gonna be a lot. Just putting on the pressure. They're just setting up, trying to break this mid tower. I think it opens up a lot of the map. LS might say otherwise, but I kind of disagree. I think it is very valuable at just giving your team a little bit more flexibility to go for some deep boards, kind of get an idea of where this team is. Because it's just like it's a little bit harder to go for these barren plays, especially when that tower is up, I feel.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see if Kog'Maw is gonna maybe think about going like Titanic Hydra, make it so that you can easily kind of get to that killer backline. Ooh, Sadness wants to walk up. Isn't gonna
Just
do much
placing
though.
the empowered Phoenix ultimate on it. As we actually see, this might be an angle, as Outrage is just going to go in, using the fact he's buffed up. They're doing so much damage, actually. Oh, no. This is going to be a slow burn. Actually, not able to get the electrocute proc there, as we see Ari is actually TPing. I think she's just TPing for fun at this point, trying to think that they might continue going for a play, but realistically, that's not what you want to be doing.
Yeah, this is gonna be. I think this game is just like last one, is just slipping through TD Bless's fingers. It's not gonna be very pretty. The comeback, right? It's gonna take a little bit. It's not gonna just gonna be a one-team fight. Oh, we win the game now. I think it's gonna have to be multiple. They're gonna have to stop this drag. They're gonna have to get Baron. I could see if TD Bless can kind of stall this game out. This could go to an Elder flip.
hmm I honestly think at this point, like I know we talk about the scaling. I think if you can survive that long, I doubt you can. That might be your best bet. Trying to get an Elder flip is your best bet because Kaisa, she still is gonna do enough damage. She's gonna potentially pop someone, and when you have that extra like benefit damage coming from Elder, it makes that pop a little bit easier. That could be the angle. I just don't know how likely that is. Maybe in response, I think one thing that maybe Angie could do is if they don't want to go for that Elder flip, they just don't care about dragon. Because at the end of the day, it's going to take 3 dragons for the side of TD Bless to go for that soul. So there could just be an option to not do it, but I think that's probably not what's going to happen. As Sadness is going in, placing that empowered Phoenix down, just trying to get a little bit of damage, especially with that Leandri's burn. But also, looking at the Abyssal Mask, you get some benefit there, basically with your entire team. But that doesn't matter, as we see
Ooh,
the Charm does land on Nintendo, taking a
but
lot of damage. Sadness going in with the Flash Bear Slap, as we see the Spirit Rush. He still has 2 charges left, but Ultimise is trying to buy enough space for his team. They find Olaf, and that Olaf immediately died. That wasn't even close. But now we see Sadness is going to continue going. He has the benefit of his team. They find one. It looks like Physiology might be the next target unless they find an angle onto Riven. Riven has the damage. Just kidding, she doesn't. And it looks like Sadness is going to be able to continue tanking here. Physiology is running for his life, trying to buy space, but it
and
just looks
that's
like,
just
oh, the cog is extended. He's turbo, and that W might be enough. Barbaric, he's looking for the angle. The goat comes out, the choo-choo train. It doesn't matter, as it looks like this Outrage E is unleashed. He has his 3 items. He has his Runeans. And with all 3 members looking at Barbaric, I don't even think a Jack Show is going to get you out of this one, as Outrage is
mm,
absolutely outrageous. He's
look
applying
at
so
that
much
damage.
damage. Oh, no.
And this
I
is
think
bot
at
turret as
this
well.
point,
Yeah, this is. I have a pretty good feeling that we can pretty much call this game at this point, right? We can TD Bless, can hope and pray for a miracle, but I think Outrage is just so strong right now. 3 items already, and it's
mhm.
just melting this Ornn, this Olaf, and everyone else on the team. There's just not much that TD Bless can even do against it.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, if this team just balls up as 5, it's so hard to pick off anybody. I think maybe your angles back into this are just playing this side lane super aggressively, right? Riven maybe has the opportunity to outplay LeBlanc, try to go for a miracle solo kill. That might be your best bet, but like it's so tough. Because, like, honestly, even on the other side, Shen is so much stronger than this Ornn at this point. He has his Titanic finished. It's a lot of gold, and, like, I think you have to play it. If I'm Angie right now, I'm kind of just forcing every objective at this point, forcing them to fight because I don't see a way TD Bliss is able to fight back.
See, I would have loved to just see again in this situation. I think it'd be just great to just 4-1, right? Just get to a side lane, put Kog'Maw and 3 others, right? Put the Lulu, put the Shen, and put the Udyr in a lane and just have LeBlanc side lane and voila. I don't think no one can kill Outrage, and all Outrage has to do is just poke, 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 take turret.
As we see, the members of ANGY are choosing to try to break down this top inner. As we see, it looks like they're just pushing in the way, but now Outrage, he is absolutely unleashed. He's trying to get a lot of damage off as I try to commentate it, make it seem impressive, but at the end of the day, this Outrage, he's kind of just auto-attacking, and then the team is melting.
Yeah, I mean, it is not looking good. I think this turret's just gone already, right? And Outrage might just again look right on one
Oh.
hand. The damage right there onto uh, Physiology. What's worse is that's with shield up, right?
Yeah, but they're
Oh,
going for a desperation play as the GOAT does land. Outrage is caught here, but that is a massive shield from both the Shin and the Lulu. He does pop, though. This might be the angle they need, but actually, the Kog'Maw, he's going in the passive. It's not enough, as we do see the members of
very
ANGY are
talented
now
behind
on the
though.
retreat. Oh, Jackie! I don't think you had enough damage to go in. They look juicy, but it's not enough. It would have been the highlight play, but Sadness actually might be able to clean this up with the Phoenix stance. They're able to find the angle. He goes for the triple. This could be his quad. Is there a penta somewhere? There might be a penta. They're looking for Barbaric. That's a quad over to this Udyr. Do we get a penta to potentially end off the season as Barbaric looks to just potentially be on the retreat? This is what we want to see.
Oh, it's
I mean,
30
maybe they
seconds
don't
into the penta.
at this point. I don't think it's likely. Barbaric's not giving it to him, but you know what? He might be giving it to him. This might be the series. They're marching down. They don't have Baron, but with Barbaric up, he's trying to defend.
Yep,
and
they're
just
not going for the penta. No penta, sadly. Ah,
Yeah, but it now just looks like they're okay to go for Baron here. With the Kog'Maw coming up, he's on the way. He's going to be able to just burst this down. I think even with the rest of your team at this point, Sadness does enough damage on his own. But still, they're going to use this Baron. They're going to finish it off with that. And realistically, this might be the final stand. I think that was a honestly really good attempt there from TD Bless. They found the angle. They saw that Kog'Maw was out. He didn't respect. He still had barrier up, I believe. So it's just he wasn't able to survive that onslaught. It's a lot of damage. But still, you have Baron up. You have your forward members here. Does TD Bless have a way back into this?
no. I mean, this is already 11K gold lead. This Cogmo, oh my, is on 4.5 items, right? Has the Nimbus cloak to kind of stop the burst from Ari again. Ari doesn't even have death cap, right? I really don't see an avenue in which TD Bless can come back from this. I mean, this really is. Oh, this turns into last game, right? They have Baron, they have Soul, right? What can TD Bless even do?
I mean, at this point, I know they're trying to play this like the clean way. I realistically think they don't the side of TD Bless does not have the wave clear to just defend a 5 members pushing in with Baron. They're playing this the safe way. I respect it, just going for these towers on side, using their Baron push to their advantage. But I think that could potentially be a downside for you, as Riven is choosing to punish the fact that these 2 members are by themselves. Riven finds the charm. Sadness might be the one to fall here, as he's unstoppable. He's running away, but one hand
And
finds the
Outrage is
angle
here,
back in.
though.
But Outrage is here, as he doesn't get the kill onto Physiology. Outrage is trying to do enough damage. He doesn't pop the Shen ultimate, the barrier, making sure nothing happens. The Flash Ignite, the combo is crazy from Ultimice. He is Ulta-Nice as he's going for the charm. He gets hit, but we see the taunt come
And
out into a triple
that
kill.
is
And
going
I
to be
think
game.
even without the Kog'Maw here, it isn't enough. They caused it. ANGY, they have done so much this season. They have been so dominant this entire time. And even with Barbaric trying to put up a fight, Outrage is still here. He's up. He's firing. And would you look at that? ANGY's able to take it. They didn't let that halter them. And ANGY are your Sentinel champions of the League of Extraordinary Champs.
Yes, again, congratulations to Angy there. Like that was they lost the first game. We thought, oh my gosh, is TD Bless going to make the upset? Again, they came in strong. They went from 5th place all the way to the finals, right? They upset Valkyries, who was 2nd place, but they were just not able to close it out.
Absolutely. And I mean, right now we just talk about how broken is Kog'Maw, right? I've been talking about it just in some of the games I've been playing, some of the casts I've seen. That champ, if you're able to get away with it, if you don't get punished hard enough, he's just going to turn on at 30 minutes, right? You're going to be able to absolutely just melt people down with your spitballs, right? It's going to be too much, and just there wasn't enough of like a go button. I know we talk about it, but the fact you kind of have a Braum just doesn't give you the opportunity to make these hyper plays, right? I wanted to just see something. As we now, that doesn't matter, as I think we are joined by our champions today, as ANGY has joined us. Guys, how's it going?
Doing great. Feels great to get a win.
Yeah, I think that's Sadness talking to me, right? Sadness.
Yes, it
Let me
is.
know. Let me know what was you guys' thought process game 4 when you got Kog'Maw there.
We just let's draft a president comp. We had we really wanted to play Shen that entire game, and we had a really strong bot lane with Lulu there, and just being able to play around that cog kind of became our peak win condition and exactly how we wanted to play the game, and we were able to execute.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
Now, now I want to ask, what was y'all's thoughts about the Syndra priority? Because again, like game one, it went to TD Bless, right? All are on again R5, while you guys did pick it up, but it was R4 for like game two. Did the Syndra priority change afterwards, or did you guys think it just wasn't that strong to begin with?
Seeing the ability that the Syndra did, even when put behind, Riven did a fantastic job piloting that champ. Even when we were able to put it behind, just seeing the ability for that thing to scale and just be so impactful really just changed the way that we had to draft around it. And luckily, very talented, has an excellent pool to play into the Syndra and also to just play around it as well.
Mm-hmm. And talking more about, I guess, that mid lane matchup, very talented. I do want to ask, so with both of you two, both having the immortalized legend Ari skin, that is $1,000 on the board, both of you. I do want to know what was that. I know you played the LeBlanc. That LeBlanc absolutely looked fantastic. You were able to punish both the Syndra and the Ari, looking for those angles. What was that mid lane matchup like for you? Like, how did you want to win through that lane?
I mean, I don't have to do anything extremely aggressive. LeBlanc will end up killing them at any point. So I didn't really have to take any really aggressive trades. I will outscale them and be able to kill them later on in the game anyways. In the Ari matchup, Ari has to blow flash or ult in order to not die to LeBlanc, which means it's an automatic win for LeBlanc because her ult is like a 20 to 30 second cooldown. And then into Syndra, she's forced to use her E or flash away, which are both really big cooldowns.
Okay.
Heck yeah. I mean,
I
it was piloted well. You enabled the rest of your team to absolutely succeed. You were able to apply a lot of pressure yourself. It was really well piloted. Launches, I know you were talking.
Uh, I actually wanted to ask, Sadness, what was your thoughts whenever you picked up that Udyr, right? Of course, you know that Drop Dead was, a very is kind of an Udyr main in the jungle, but then again, they didn't first pick it, so you're like, I'm gonna have the confidence picking. Did you think that, hey, I think I'm a better Udyr than you, or did you try to like draft around the Udyr more?
I think Udyr's either Amumu or Udyr's probably my strongest champion, so I feel really confident in it into pretty much any matchup. I think Drop Dead did a fantastic job jungling tonight, and his impact on the Udyr was really felt. So I just felt like I could really have a strong impact playing around one of my mains, and luckily I was able to burn them all.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah, guys. All right, now, I gotta ask, have you guys already bought your tickets?
Take it.
Your
Tickets.
tickets? You don't know? You guys are
No.
going to Disney. You won. You made it, guys. You are on the board. You have won. Congratulations to you all. You both, honestly, all 5 of you have earned your right here. You get to be champions of the Sentinel League here. Congratulations to you all. It's going to be a fantastic one. Also, I know I hyped it up early, but also, Ultimice, I want to talk about it. You were kind of put in like tank matchups the entire night, but you were still up like 30 farm every single game. You were applying so much pressure. It felt like your lane states were in such a good spot. What does that look like? What is I guess that matchup come in? You got red counterpick every single time.
I mean, yeah, it does help being the top laner on red side. You kind of just win from draft most of the time. I mean, Ornn has just been the face of top lane for the last since he's been out, honestly. Especially back when I used to one trick Renekton, they just counterpick me every game. So I have a lot of experience dealing with Ornn.
Heck yeah. But yeah, also, I guess I haven't talked to a couple people yet, but also I guess next Outrage, congratulations on your win, right? That Kog'Maw, you were absolutely spitting on him. You were letting him know. Is there anything you wanna tell the stream, let him know about your success where you are now?
I just want to mention like we're going to Disneyland, but they're going to Cancun, so they're really winning at the end of the day.
That is true. You know, you get sent on vacation, right? It was as 100 Thieves did this past weekend. Hey, they at least get to go on vacation. They get their Tuesdays off, so it's
Yeah.
not the end of the world. But I guess also last but not least, Nintendo. I know you stepped into this roster a little bit late. Bingus unfortunately ranked out. Shout out to Bingus. But what has it been like stepping into this team, kind of like coming in a little bit later into the scene? What has it meant to you?
A lot of fun. It's a bit odd. I'm actually an ADC main, but I play supports my secondary, and I'm pretty comfortable on it. And yeah, I don't know. It's been fun.
Yeah. You look super comfortable on it. You found the angles you need. You provided a lot of provided a lot of support over for all your members, especially Outrage there. But once again, congratulations to you guys. Launches sold. Do you guys have any closing remarks for this team?
To be honest, not really. Again, congratulations again. You are again the season 2 summer champions, right, of the LXC, of course. I'm assuming Dira, are you the coach or the team captain of
I'm the owner
the
of the
owner?
org.
Would you like to have any remarks for stream and everything like that?
I mean, there's not much to say, but my team is the fucking goats. I mean, I'm super proud of everyone. Like, I've seen all the hard work that everyone's been putting in. And I don't know, I'm just super proud of you all, especially with a little bit of a hiccup, like having to lose our support. Really good way to, keep going, and just super proud of everyone.
Hey Dira, I know you said this is your team to watch. Do you have any other teams that are still competing in LXC?
Yeah, I actually do, and you're on it.
Wait, I
And
am?
yeah,
No way.
and I just want to say to everyone watching the stream, make sure to tune in tomorrow for the Crusader finals with Clown Gaming and our team, Bare Minimum, to see another set of really banger games.
But as Dira said, we do end tonight with a win for ANGY. But also, I do want to also say shout out to TD Bless. I know Sadis was also mentioning it as well. They had some excellent games. They had some excellent performances at the end of the day. They deserve to be here. They deserve to get to second place. I think they should be still super proud of their accomplishment and what they've done as a team. But I will say, with the end of Sentinel here, we do still have one more finals available here in the League of Extraordinary Champions. And it's going to be Crusader. It's going to be Clown Gaming, led by Resilient and the goons over there, versus Bare Minimum. I'm excited. I get to play in it, not be casting. I get to actually be the person on the screen. So it's going to be exciting. I really hope to see you all there. I've loved casting tonight. Launches, it's been great casting with you as well.
Same here.
Heck yeah. I think with that, we're going to call it there. I really appreciate all of you guys for watching. If you haven't, make sure to drop a follow. Make sure to join the Discord if you haven't. We're super chill. I won't flame anybody, I promise. And with that, I hope you guys have a good rest of your night.